Well, here we are. I'm sitting in a chair with two weird cones on my legs and no shoes. You guys know what we're getting into today. People often ask, Coyote, where did the origin of your bite and sting climb begin? Truth be told, right here at this very harvester ant mound. That was one on my neck. Now, the harvester ant specifically has one of the most potent venoms in the entire insect kingdom. These little creatures inspired me to climb up Justin Schmidt's insect sting pain index. I climbed the index in my own way, but it began with this insect. You may also be noticing these weird contraptions on my legs. Those are called ant blockers and will help us keep the ants contained to my legs and my feet. The last time we did this, they covered my body and I got stings in all sorts of places that you wouldn't necessarily want to show on camera. Jeez. Now, when it comes to ants, what we ultimately learned in our first episode is that they do bite and they do sting. All of the pain comes from the venom that is in that sting. You guys know what's gonna happen, right? I'm gonna remove my feet off of this little stool and I'm gonna try to withstand 60 seconds worth of bites and stings to show you guys exactly why you want to avoid harvester ants if you ever come across them in the wild or even right in your own backyard. So if you guys are ready, it is time to revisit the origin of stings by standing in a mound of harvester ants. I don't want to step on anybody going in here. Okay, now when it comes to aggravating ants, I won't have to do much. All I'll need to do is stand around the opening, and the second one of them stings, they release a sting pheromone, which tells the rest of them it's time to attack. Now we're gonna start the timer from the second I start to get stung. Right now, the ants are just beginning to investigate the fact that I am standing above their home, and this entire colony spreads out in this entire area where you see no plants actually growing. The mound, the catacomb beneath the surface is massive. And you can see the ants are starting to investigate me. No stings yet. They're just like, okay, okay, there's one sting right there on the inside of my foot. Now, another sting on the back of the foot there. Yep, okay, so once that sting pheromone begins to tell the ants that an invader is here, more stings will come. And you can see at this point, there are more and more ants beginning to surround my feet. Just want to get right in between my toes right now. Now, I haven't been moving my feet around very much, just keeping them in one spot. If an animal were to stumble upon a nest, or you, there's one right in between my pinky toe and next to my pinky toe. Man, that is a very sensitive spot. So they will tell each other, hey, we've got something out here that's not going away. Usually once an animal, like a skunk or a coyote, gets stung on its nose once or twice, they're like, okay, this is not a situation for me to mess with. But in this instance, I just keep enduring. Oh, geez, yeah, okay. Oh, it's getting worse and worse as they begin to swarm more and more so. But you can see they're not all over the tops of my feet. They're actually going under my feet, strangely enough. Wow, you guys just are making an encampment under my feet. Look at this. When I move my feet, boom, ants everywhere. Now, if my feet were horn lizards, which are notorious for coming in and feasting on these little insects, this is exactly what would happen. The ants would swarm out and try to take out that reptile. But fortunately for the horn lizard, their skin is so thick and rugged, the ants are not capable of stinging through it. So the horn lizard will just sit there, like you see with my feet, and lap up ant after ant after ant. This is getting rather unbearable at this point. And the stings don't come in as much of a wave as the fire ants do. And that's the big difference between the fire ants and the harvester ants. The fire ants are just like a tidal wave of stings. The harvester ants are a bit more calculated. They're exploring my feet, they're finding the soft spots, and then they're moving in to bite and inflict that sting. Oh man, it is so uncomfortable to have them in between my toes. Oh buddies, come on, you can make it a little bit longer. The first time I did this, it was such a shock to my body and my system. Running around, ants all over my body. At this point, I've been in the mound for several minutes, taking sting after sting after sting. And my body, while it's uncomfortable, definitely not as uncomfortable as it was the first time around. I wish I had the skin of a horned lizard at the moment. Oh, I yield. out of the harvester ants. Okay, now that I've endured a second go with the harvester ants. We're gonna go visit my good friend and inspiration, entomologist Justin Schmidt, the godfather of the insect sting pain index, and get his reaction to today's ultimate chaos. Several weeks ago, when I placed my arm inside of a box of angry yellow jackets, I said to myself, this is ridiculous. I'm not getting stung by anything else. Yeah, here we are 2 weeks later, and I just put my feet into a nest of harvester ants, which are a species you oftentimes see right here in your own backyard. Now, what's your experience been thus far with harvester ants?
They hurt.
Yeah.
And they're kind of sneaky because often they'll get on your feet and you don't know it. And it's just when they get underneath, like typically I wear sandals. When they get between the sandal and my foot, then you're in trouble. And they don't hurt like a yellow jacket or honeybees, like wham, you feel it right away. These kind of sneak up on you. But then they also have this, what I call an anesthetic pain. It's not anything you can put your fingers on, but you don't like it.
Yeah, that's a great, you're like, what's happening to me right now?
And it can kind of creep up. Like it'll get the lymph nodes. I've had them sting my feet. And you have a lymph node up in your groin area, and that starts swelling up, and that feels really bad.
Yeah.
You don't like that. Again, it's not a sharp pain, it's not a piercing pain, but you don't like that. And the interesting thing about these ants is they use them in puberty rites in California back in the 1800s before the Indians were all moved out. And they used them, and they would eat eagle feathers with 100 or 200 ants on.
Like what, dipping eagle feathers into ants and then eating that?
Yeah, and they would get stung in their throat and their stomach and all. And the good thing is they don't tend to swell, but then these kids would go into this sort of hallucination like, and the Great Spirit would come down and guide them through their life of, don't eat ants. You know, something like that.
I have to note that on that whole hallucination element, like I can imagine them going into your body and you getting stung would be a whole lot worse than on your feet, but for a solid 45 minutes after taking the stings, and I guess I kind of went through this last time because I've done harvester ants on my hands and experienced mild swelling. Same thing with my feet, but man, I felt like I was under the influence of alcohol or a narcotic for a solid 45 minutes after I had taken all the stings. Like I was almost delirious at one point, and not so much in the pain, but just like my body being super out of it. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the Native Americans obviously felt the same way. They used the same kind of ants, Pagana myrmex californicus, which we have Maricopa. Maricopa's in Arizona, California, but they're basically the same thing. And they obviously have the same effect because these poor kids would go out in the fall this time of year and they'd get all these ants that they were eating, and then they'd go out until the Great Spirit gave them a guidance for life, and then they were allowed to come back in and join the manhood.
Well, when it comes to the Great Spirit giving me guidance in life, I don't know if it's guiding me in the direction of taking no more stings, but I will say at this point, I'm no longer experiencing pain, so it makes it a lot better than the yellow jacket box. And the good thing about harvester ants is that unlike fire ants, the stings don't swell up into unsightly white pustules. So when it comes to the harvester ant experience, far easier to maintain than fire ants. Justin, thank you so much for taking all this time to visit with us today. The inspiration that you've brought to myself and everybody else out there who loves insects and arachnids is staggering. We could not do this without you. And if you guys have not checked out Justin's book, I highly recommend it. It is a fascinating read, but do not follow the insect sting pain index like you've seen me doing. You don't want all of that pain that comes with the bites and stings.
Venturing into the nighttime desert is not for the faint of heart, as this cactus-strewn ecosystem is laced with a plethora of nocturnal predators. Whether it be scorpions, spiders,
that right there is a black widow,
sulpugids, or vinegaroons, these arachnids are certain to be on the prowl as they use the cover of darkness to silently hunt for their prey. Look at that! Does that thing not look like an alien? All arachnids come equipped with 8 legs, and most are also armed with a set of fangs or a venom-injecting stinger. That is the most venomous species of scorpion in the United States, and he's on my hand. All right, this makes me a little bit nervous. I want to see if I can get him to just sit still. However, if 8 legs, fangs, and stingers aren't enough to scare you, Arizona's Sonoran Desert is also home to a subphylum of creatures with even more legs, the myriapods, which consists of centipedes and millipedes. At the end of the day, both of these animals do their best to avoid humans. However, today we are going to capture one of each, so we can get them in front of the cameras for an up-close comparison. First, let's talk about the desert millipede. Now, millipede means 1,000 feet, and each one of these little body segments has 2 pairs of legs on it. Now, there's no way that I'm going to get underneath this creature and count its legs, but I can tell you from it crawling across my arm that there are a ton of them tickling me right now. It feels like a bunch of little tiny pieces of Velcro grabbing onto your arm hairs. Despite the name, there isn't actually a species of millipede on the planet that has 1,000 feet. On average, they have around 400, with the record being 750, more than any other animal in the world. These myriapods have very poor eyesight. They have very simple eyes up front, so they're really using these antennae to help them navigate through the environment. And you'll see as he dances up in the air like that, he's basically looking for what his next move is going to be. If he can't feel anything with those antennae, he's kind of like, whoa, I've run out of road here. And until he bumps into something that he can walk on, he's just gonna stay put until he can get those front legs planted. Now, the millipede doesn't have many predators, and that's because these little myriapods are actually poisonous. They do have glands that run along the side of their body, and if they are really, really threatened, they will secrete a nasty orange fluid, and it absolutely stinks. I actually got it all over my hands the other night. Now, if you get this poison on your skin, all you need to do is wash your hands with soap and water, and you'll be just fine. Now, I'm completely comfortable with millipedes. They don't bite. If it doesn't bite, it can crawl all over me all that it wants. But the centipede is a whole different ball game. And we're gonna get that guy out in a second and get a close look at that venomous little desert dweller. The desert millipede is virtually harmless to humans. And if you encounter one in the wild, just admire it from a safe distance. Okay, now we're on to the part of the episode that I have been dreading. There is no good way to do this. You just have to plop him out and go for it. All right, here we go. Ready? Oh boy. Now he's kind of like, oh, I'm on the ground and I'm on the move. Desert centipedes can inflict a very painful and venomous bite. So I stress, never attempt what I am doing. Okay, there we go. Now that I have his head under control, and more importantly, those fangs, I feel a lot better about this situation. Oh, look at how creepy that little desert creature is. Now, what's really interesting is that the centipede means 100 feet. Each species of centipede varies. There's no way that this one has 100 feet, but as they continue to grow and their body segments elongate, they grow more legs. Now, one major difference between the centipede and the millipede is that the centipede has a very flattened body. This allows them to fit into crevices between rocks and allows them to glide very quickly over the surface of the desert. Now, these are voracious predators. They are out here right now walking the washes and searching through the rocks for other animals. They will eat bugs, they will eat scorpions, they will eat lizards, and the ones that grow to the size of the giant desert centipede, they will even take rodents. But the bite from a centipede of even this size is going to put you into some incredible pain. That's why I want to be as careful as possible while handling this myriapod. One really interesting feature about all centipedes is that you see the back end here, this rump. You have these 2 modified legs on the back end here, which have little hooks in them. And this back end is pretty much a false head. It's the same color as the head is, and these 2 little modified feet on the back end here have hooks on them. So let's say you're a predator and you're coming in, you're like, all right, I'm gonna get him, I'm gonna bite his head right off. These little modified feet go up in the air, boom, and you get pricked with those little spikes. Throws you off guard, the centipede spins around, and that's when you get a bite from those venomous fangs. This is not a creature that is very easy to consume. Centipede venom is not considered deadly to humans. However, the pain has been said to keep a full-grown man on the ground and in pain for several hours. Moral of the story? Steer clear of centipedes. I hope everybody enjoyed this comparison, the desert centipede versus the desert millipede. Both species are native to the Sonoran Desert, and I suggest avoiding both because the centipede is venomous and the millipede is poisonous. Both of these myriapods play an important role in the ecosystem. And while they may be creepy and have a gazillion legs as compared to you and me, always try to remember that they are going to use each and every one to run in the opposite direction. If there is one place that we as a team love to explore at night, it's the Sonoran Desert. During the light of day, temperatures can easily cross 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and combined with the bone-scorching sun rays, the conditions are pretty much unbearable for a human. Even the rugged creatures of the Southwest do their best to stay hidden underground or in the shade. However, under the darkness of night, temperatures drop considerably, making it the perfect time to encounter a world of nocturnal animals. What's going on, guys? So we just finished filming an episode for Colin's channel, and it's only 2 in the morning, so we said, let's get outside and explore our backyard here in the Sonoran Desert and see what sort of nighttime creatures we can come across. Now, I'm gonna let you take with you tonight my special SOG flashlight, right? So you'll be,
oh my gosh.
Don't shine in your eyeballs.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this thing's
It is
crazy bright, okay.
But that will definitely help you spot some of the creatures that we're searching for tonight. You'll also notice that I have a pair of snake tongs, and that is because there are a lot of western diamondback rattlesnakes that may potentially be out there tonight. There's also the chance of coming across tarantulas, banded geckos, Gila monsters, other lizards that are sleeping. Literally, there is a plethora of biodiversity out here in the Sonoran Desert, so anything is possible. So if you guys are ready, let's head off into the darkness and see what we can find. You ready?
Let's do it.
Colin's Key is without question one of the fastest growing talents on YouTube. His family-friendly content and charismatic style have captured nearly 7 million subscribers to date, making him a bona fide superstar. However, when it comes to adventures in the wild, this is going to be something quite a bit different than he is used to.
Now, I'm trying to see if maybe there are some black widows.
What? I'm out, bro. What? The black widows? Those are dangerous, man. Oh my geez, folks.
Easy, buddy.
Just a bush, bro.
So we are excited to break trail into the darkness to see what species of animals we can get him up close and personal with.
So you notice all this area here? Looks like water's flowed through here, right?
Yep.
This is a very small wash. Now, wash is like an animal superhighway, right? It's pretty much free of plants and any debris. That means snakes, Gila monsters, even something like a coyote
What's
or
a
a
Gila
rabbit.
monster?
Oh, you don't know what a Gila monster is?
No, it sounds super dangerous.
Well, it is the only venomous lizard in the United States. Actually, something that I've been bitten by before.
Of course you have.
But not intentionally, and it was the most painful bite I've ever taken.
Let me keep them.
Oh, yeah, he got the whole top of my thumb. He already passed the GoPro, and he got the whole top of my thumb. All right, just stop filming. Our odds of seeing a Gila monster are like 1 in a million. It is like the holy grail of the desert. Not likely we'll see one tonight, but yes, Gila monsters would use a wash to move about at night as they're searching for prey. So what we oftentimes try to do is shine our light down the wash, just from a distance, see if we see any animals moving. I don't see anything here, but as you can see, this is an open pathway also for us. That means if we walk down it, we stand less chance of accidentally running into something like a rattlesnake. So let's head this direction, and maybe we'll find a lizard. Now, if we spot a rattlesnake, it actually will be very, very apparent. They have a black and white tail that just jumps out in the flashlight beam. A bunch of little ants running around. But ants don't scare you, right? Is there anything you're afraid of, Colin?
Not a massive fan of spiders.
Okay.
We actually had a pet snake for a long time, so I think like snakes are actually pretty cool. Oh geez, sorry, it was you. He asked the question about like, are you scared? And then literally his flashlight shone through the plant, and it was like there was like that like weird kind of like reflection on the ground, and I freaked out because I thought it was a giant moving like spider or something. I'm really good at this, as you guys.
We'll probably see some of this.
Yeah, right.
Collins. What? Look right through there. You see that? Look up on that limb. That is a huge desert spiny lizard, and it's sleeping. I might be able to catch it. I'm gonna have to go around from this side, though. You stay right there and watch. Keep the cameras. This is gonna be tough without me shaking the tree.
Still asleep.
He's on to you.
Nice grab.
Nice.
That is a nice one.
That is a big desert spiny lizard right
Nice.
there. Woo! Man,
Let's see that thing.
is a good looking lizard.
That thing is huge. Oh my gosh.
That is about the biggest spiny lizard I have ever caught.
That thing is huge.
I could give you a pretty
Oh my gosh. What's coming off of it?
powerful bite. Just scales.
Oh, really?
Just shedding some skin. Yeah, you can
Oh
see the
my
back leg is
gosh.
actually in the process of shedding right there. And do this, pet the back, pet its back. See how spiky
Oh
that is?
my god. I've never seen a lizard this big before.
And you can tell it's a male. You see that blue chin? And on the underside,
Whoa. This thing is huge.
pretty gorgeous, huh?
That's awesome.
Now this is one of the fastest and toughest lizard species out here. Oh, it's so spiky. And usually the only way to catch one of these lizards is exactly with that tactic at night. Find them sleeping in the trees. Absolute beast. You want to hold it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah?
How do we do this?
Now, you have to be very careful because they can drop their tails as an escape mechanism
Yep.
from predators. So I do not want you to be bitten.
Okay.
What we're gonna do,
Staying relaxed.
he's very, very powerful. Ooh, he's very spiky too. Ow, 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 ow. I'm actually getting spiked really bad there.
You're looking to bite me,
What I
man.
do is kind of hold him in the middle of his body. There you go. And if you let him go, if anything happens, you just let go and he'll jump to the ground. There you go. That's you holding one good size.
Oh my
spiny
gosh.
lizard. Pretty spiky, huh?
Yeah.
Hi, buddy.
Holy cow.
Have you ever
Jeez.
held a lizard like this before?
Never. I didn't even know they were this big.
Yeah.
thing's
That's honestly
huge.
probably the biggest one I've ever caught.
This thing is massive.
Yeah, he is an absolute beaster. All right, I'm gonna gently take it back from you.
Okay,
Ready?
yep. Oh my gosh.
Control it. Okay, you can let go.
Okay.
There we go. All right, buddy. Okay. Whoa. It's hard to hold on to him because of all the spikes.
Jeez.
There we go. Wow. Well, I would say this is an excellent start to our night.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we can find.
All right.
All right.
Coyote, why are we at this wall?
The wall is actually a great place to look for not only scorpions, but... What's that? All right, Mario has called out that he's found a banded gecko. Let's see where this is. Okay, this looks pretty safe. Where is he? Oh, yep. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and catch it. Go real slow here. All right. Whoa,
On to you now.
whoa. Cool.
Nice. All right. Fire
Real
both
gentle
legs.
with these. Okay.
Right down here by the pool pump. Definitely in the backyard.
By the pool pump, but yeah, that's great. These are oftentimes the best places to look for animals is right around human habitation. Collins, this is turning into the night of the lizards right now.
really.
Start with the desert spiny, and this is one of my favorite species, the western banded gecko. Now, it's very, very fragile.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it like this. Go ahead and just pet its back. You'll feel
Oh my gosh.
it's like velvet, right?
Yeah.
This is a species that is almost entirely nocturnal. As you can imagine, hot desert sun would absolutely cook this creature.
Yeah.
So they're underground during the day. Now, Collins, what's really cool about this gecko is that this is one of the rare species out here in the desert that is not venomous or poisonous. There are a lot of animals out here that could give you a pretty nasty bite or sting. This is one that is completely safe to handle. Now, like I said, they are extremely fragile. So if anybody out there watching is out in the desert tonight and sees one of these lizards, it's probably best to just admire it from a respectful distance. But how cute is that
Yeah.
lizard, right?
It's adorable.
So have you ever held a gecko before?
No, I've literally held like no creatures really before at all.
I don't know, guys. You think Collins should hold a gecko?
Absolutely.
Okay, so can you see how I just have it balanced on the tip of my finger there?
Yep.
And see I'm just kind of holding on to the back leg. Again, you don't want to apply any pressure to the tail. There you go. Kind of let it rest up on your finger like that. There you go, just real gentle.
Nice.
The craziest is just like a little heartbeat going like, oh my gosh.
And you feel how soft and velvety that skin
Yeah.
is. And you notice the camouflage pattern on this lizard. All of that banding, that's where they get the name banded gecko. But that helps them blend in perfectly to this environment. So what I'll do is I'll hold up just a handful of rocks and dry
Yeah.
grass, and you can see how easy it is for this creature to just blend right into its environment.
Yep. It's just so soft, it's crazy.
You think Colin should let it go?
Oh yeah, you want to do the honors?
Sure, just put it down and let it go.
Yeah, let's make sure Mario's got a decent shot here and just kind of lean
Right
your
here?
hand down. Let go of your hold. There you go. It's kind of like, whoa, I'm back off into the desert.
Exactly.
Okay, well, so far we've come across 2 very safe lizards. I think we need to up the stakes a little bit and find something either a little more dangerous or a little more creepy. Are you up for that?
I'm up for it.
All right, there's your flashlight.
Thank you.
Let's head this way.
Let's do it.
It's tough when you hear somebody yell they found something, you want to move quick, but you still have to stand everywhere you're going. You don't want to step on a rattlesnake. Okay, it's pretty open right here. Hurry up. What do you got?
Okay, come here. Take a look right there.
Oh my gosh. What? It's a Gila monster.
What?
That is a Gila monster.
Yeah.
Okay.
No way.
Hang on. It moved from that bush to that spot
Right
there.
up there, so you can get
He's
a
kind
shot.
of chilling there, but I need to get a.
Oh, I see it.
Let me get a shot,
man.
guys. Let me get a shot.
That's a big one.
Are you got a shot on?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna move real slow. We don't want to try to catch and handle this laser.
Oh my gosh. Yo.
Okay, Colin, stay back just a touch. Okay, go ahead, Colin's crouch down right there. Very, very slow. There you go, real slow. Okay. Good. And just keep your fingers up away from the ground. I'm going to move in a little bit closer to you. Ooh, you see that tongue flicking?
Yep.
It is sensing us right now. Now I'm hoping that me not being in front of it doesn't give it that escape route. Okay, there we go. How's that shot for you, Mark?
That's perfect.
That good? Mario, good for you? Okay, and I am going to keep the snake tongs in between us just in case it lunges.
Okay.
I'll be able to block its strike. And there you have it. That is the holy grail of the Sonoran Desert right there, Collins. Probably the rarest creature that you can come across. You can see now it's getting comfortable. It's saying to itself, okay, nobody's trying to pick me up. Nobody's in my way. This lizard's going to move on when it feels it's time to move on, and that's going to be the moment that we get to spend with it. But look at that amazing patterning. That is a very healthy Gila monster. You've never seen one of these before, have you?
No, this is so cool.
You should seriously get out your phone and take a picture.
Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
Move very slowly, very slowly. Yeah, there you go. Get your phone out. Take a picture. This is going to be one of those moments to remember, my friend. Now, my excitement could be a lot louder than it is right now, but we want this reptile to stay calm. The longer it stays here in front of us, the better it is for our scene, because if it decides to book, we're gonna literally have to let it go on its way. Now, they will stay underground the majority of the day, right? Again, trying to escape the heat. They come out to hunt at night. Ooh, stay right there, stay right there. And you'll notice the skin looks very beaded, right?
Yep.
Every one of those little bumps is an osteoderm, which is a little chip of bone underneath the skin, and then there's a scale up over the top of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is like a perfect specimen.
Oh my gosh.
This is
Look how good it's being. It's just sitting right
this
there.
is the second largest Gila monster I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, that is a big lizard right there. Wow. And this is the only venomous lizard species here in the United States. However, down in Mexico, there's another venomous lizard called the beaded lizard, right? So there are only 2 venomous lizards in North America. But when it comes to the Southwest, this lizard is king.
So when it's flicking its tongue out, what is it doing when it's doing that?
That's a great question. Well, they have a forked tongue just like a snake, and what that's doing is it's sensing its environment. So when that tongue comes out, it grabs chemicals from the air, sucks it into its mouth, and have what's called a Jacobson's organ. And that basically is like a computer that tells them, okay, this is what's in the area. It could be potential prey, it could be potential predator, it could be whether or not rain is coming. They rely on that tongue for so much information.
Wow.
It's like the Gila monster's little personal computer.
It's like he's trying to move his head towards us. Ooh, it's coming towards us.
It is getting ready to head into the shadows and call it a night. I think it has hung out quite long enough. That's a little beetle that just flew into the scene. Okay, Collins, okay, why don't you gently stand up and just kind of take a very slow step off to the edge there.
Okay.
Perfect. And we're gonna let this Gila monster continue on its night. That was epic. It has certainly been the night of the lizards at this point, but I have now found a pretty good sized tarantula. Can you see it right up on the edge of the grasses there? I cannot tell if it is away from the burrow And if it's next to burrow, I want to see if I can get it away from it so we can actually get up close for the cameras.
Do you want me to be close to this part, or how do you want me to be in this?
Let's bring it out away from the grass. That's going to be the key, because you can't really see it. You right?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is perfect.
All right, Collins, now that
Yo.
we actually have the tarantula up and out of the grass, what the best thing for me to do is actually just kind of cut my hand over the spider to see if I can keep it in one place. Come here. I'm gonna try to do this without taking a bite.
Yeah.
Now, the bite from the spider is no more potent than that of a bee sting. So if I am bitten, it's gonna be okay.
Oh my gosh. Yo, that's crazy.
Why don't you just stay completely still? It does make me nervous to try to like balance the spider from one hand to the other. Now, what I would love to do, Collins,
Yes.
if you think you're up for it, is to let this spider walk on your hand and arm. You think you could do that?
What are the chances of it biting me really quick?
For real?
Yeah.
1 in 10.
There's always a chance.
1 in
But
10.
you see how I'm just letting it walk
Yep.
from hand to hand, applying no pressure?
Yep.
It's staying pretty calm. Just put your hand out straight in front of my hand.
Oh, gee, dude, you see it just like tripped out for a second, bro?
Yep, that's because you made a loud noise. You want to stay as calm as you can. Don't make any noise.
Okay, I'll go on then.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though, Collins. Like, if you do this, you got to keep your hands still.
Okay.
Gotta stay completely still.
Back of the hand, front of the hand.
I would do the base of your hand, and I will be here to.
Are you gonna catch on the other side?
No, I'm gonna let it onto you. There you go.
Still, stay still.
Stay still. There you go. Very good. Very good.
Oh, that was pretty
Up
good.
there.
That was great.
There you go. Very still. We're just gonna continue to give it a runway, just like that.
This feels crazy.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh.
You're doing awesome. Did you ever think that you would be out here in the Sonoran Desert handling a tarantula?
way. This is so cool. Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, put your hand there. There you go. Wow, go ahead, try to get your other hand in front. There you go, perfect. Whatever you do, don't apply any pressure to the spider.
It's going on my arm.
There we go. I got it.
I forgot about the loud rule, my bad.
Okay, it's okay. The quieter you stay, the more calm the spider will stay.
It's starting to get habituated to you guys.
Yep.
That's
Well, it's
good.
figured out at this point that we are not predators. We are not trying to eat the spider.
So cool.
Its interest is just in getting to the next spot it can walk. There you go. Now my hands aren't even involved.
I would go for it. Yeah, it's going for it. Okay.
Excellent work. So cool. You are a brave man, my friend. It takes a lot to be afraid of spiders and actually hold onto one of these arachnids. But like I said, this is not something that you need to be afraid of. Despite the fact that they are venomous, the bite is very mild. And after I handled the spider for a few minutes, I could kind of determine that it is going to stay calm. Otherwise, I would.
That just blew my mind. I never thought I would ever hold a tarantula, let alone like a wild tarantula that we just caught.
Yeah, and tell everybody watching, this is a tarantula. We literally just
Literally
walked
just
down
found
the
this
middle
in
of the
a
desert.
bushel of grass, fam. In a bushel of grass.
I've handled many tarantulas, but you have to base handling an arachnid like this on its demeanor.
Yeah.
Now, for anybody out there watching, I would never recommend that you go out and try to pick up a tarantula. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for a very long time, and the only reason that I push you into this position is because I feel comfortable with this spider. I let it get adapted to me, and then I let it walk on you. I would never put you in a situation that I didn't think was safe, but there you go. You have faced
so cool.
your fear of spiders, and you have handled a wild tarantula. How cool is that?
Literally never thought I would do that.
Well, guys, I would definitely say that this was one incredibly epic expedition. We came across multiple lizard species, including the holy grail of the Sonoran Desert, the Gila monster, and then Collins Key, my main man, faced his arachnophobia by handling a wild desert blonde tarantula. Look at that.
See, he likes me. He's going back on my hand.
You got a new buddy.
Exactly.
All right, you want to do the honors of letting it back off into the desert?
Yeah.
All right, just
we go.
put your hands on the sand and off it will go. Bye, buddy. Bye.
Have a safe journey.
Dude, that was awesome.
So far over the course of my time creating content for YouTube, I have had the chance to meet or work with many of the platform's finest talents. And working alongside Collins was an absolute blast. Not only is he one of the most genuine, and positively happy humans I have ever met. But for someone who has never embarked upon an adventure into the eerie darkness of the nighttime desert, he has within him a bravery that is absolutely unmatched.
I wonder if you can do math while handling a spider. What's 8 times 8?
Yeah, I'm not. A lot of legs on a spider. A spider has 8 legs. That's what we're going for, right?
That's good, that's good.
When exploring in the wild, one of my favorite things about the desert is that you never know what you are going to come across. And if you dare to go out and explore into the darkness of night, Arizona's Sonoran Desert is a world of biological diversity. Oh, look at this right here, little lizard. It is a western banded gecko. Oh, look at him, he's seen us now. He flicked his tail up in the air. He's basically saying, stay back. I am a little beast. And that he is, but this is one of the friendliest lizard species we could have come across here in the desert. And they're extremely fragile, so I'm gonna be extra gentle with him. Oh, come here, got him. This is the famous little gecko species that lives out here in the Sonoran Desert. And unfortunately for this little guy, if he's not careful, he's gonna stumble upon what we're really looking for, rattlesnakes and scorpions. You are just too cute to be eaten by either of those two. We're gonna let him back off into the desert. You stay safe, little guy. Always cool to come across a western banded gecko. See you later. Capturing a gecko is what I would call a pleasant surprise. But I think we all know that lurking in the shadows, you can also find a whole bunch of creatures that are better suited for nightmares. Some of them have close to 1,000 legs. Some have only 100, which isn't as bad by comparison. But these giants are also armed with a very painful, venomous bite. Then you have the spiders, big and hairy, or small and stealthy.
That right there is a black widow.
Pick your venom wisely, because sometimes it's the little guy that packs the most powerful punch. Oh yeah, then there are the 3 scorpion species. You know, stripe-tailed, desert hairy, and bark.
That's a giant desert hairy. Whoa, he's a big one too. Wow, look at that.
You're probably asking, does the nightmare ever end? I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Shine around. Black light out. Oh, something moved there. Oh, geez, look at that. Wow. Okay, don't need a black light for this one.
Jeez,
Do you know what that is?
No.
That is a whip scorpion. Hold on, I have actually never seen one of these before out in the wild. Look at that. Does that thing not look like an alien? Wow. Now, this is not actually a scorpion, and they are not venomous, so I do not have to be afraid of handling this arachnid. Let me try to get him up on my hand here. I don't want to agitate him too much because whip scorpions are also known as Vinegaroons. Come here, buddy. Oh, gotcha. Walk on my hand. Yes.
Is this safe what you're doing right now?
It's safe enough. Look at that. As long as he doesn't shoot me with his acetic acid. And right there at the base of the abdomen, they have 2 glands that they can actually shoot 2 streams of acetic acid at any potential predator. And right now, he's probably not feeling that I'm a predator because I'm not a rodent, and that's primarily what's feeding on these creepy crawlies. Wow. Now let's see if he smells vinegary. Nope, he doesn't, which is a really good sign. If he was agitated, those glands would start to activate, and then I would know he's probably getting close to shooting me with his acid mixture. Now that spray, that acetic acid that they shoot out, really smells like vinegar, hence the nickname Vinegaroon. Now, this whip that you have up on the back side here, it kind of looks like a scorpion stinger, but no stinger on it. You see all those little tiny hairs? It's actually a sensory organ which helps them navigate in their environment. Now you may be wondering what this arachnid feels like. He's actually got some weight to him. He's pretty heavy for a creature of this size, and his little legs have tiny hooks on them. I can actually feel him holding onto my hand, which is why I'm able to do this. See that? Pretty much is just stuck onto my hand. This is one well-equipped predator. Let's talk about what the whip scorpion eats. You see these pedipalps up front with those pinchers? Now what they're hunting for out here is crickets and roaches. So if you see one of these in your yard and you've got a roach problem, just let him hang out because he's gonna do all the exterminating for you. And what they'll do is they'll grab onto their prey and shove it into the set of chompers that they have inside there. I'm not gonna get my finger too close. I don't wanna know what that bite feels like. But I can tell just by looking in there that it is bad news.
Now, if you're a human and you come across one of these, I can't imagine that you're gonna wanna pick it up like I'm doing. But if you do, and you are squirted with that acetic acid, all you have to do is wash out your eyes with some water, keep flushing them out until the burning goes away. You'll be just fine. These aren't actually venomous like a scorpion or most spider species. Now, this is the first time I've ever encountered a whip scorpion, and I guarantee you it's the first time this whip scorpion has ever encountered a human. Have you ever seen a creature creepier than the whip scorpion? Tell me about it in the comment section below. So while it may look like a creepy alien from another planet, remember, if you ever see one around your house, it's the best kept roach extermination secret out there. The heart of rattlesnake territory is truly Arizona, which is home to 13 different species, more than any other state. Tonight we're out in the Sonoran Desert and the temperature is absolutely perfect to find snakes. I got my snake hook ready. We're gonna head out there and see what we can find. The rattlesnake specifically has taken an unbelievable amount of negative press.
Holy moly. Okay, don't get any closer.
Probably because if startled or provoked, they can inflict a very painful and potentially lethal venomous bite.
Check this out. This environment is absolutely perfect for finding snakes. You can see how dry and arid all this is. Oop, I just saw, look at that, you got some kangaroo rats running around over here. Now that is a great sign that you're gonna find snakes. Where there are rats, there are definitely going to be snakes. Okay, I got him. I'm gonna be as gentle as possible. I do have him by the scruff of his neck, which is okay to handle him like that. Look at that cute little bushy tail. How adorable is that? And these big hind feet, and that's how they move so quickly through the desert. Look, he's holding on to his toe right now. He's so scared. This is proof that not everything out there in the desert is covered in scales and stingers. You better be careful out there, buddy. If I can catch you, you better believe that a rattlesnake can. All right, I'm gonna let him go. You ready?
Hang around in the vicinity of kangaroo rats long enough, and you are almost certain to come across a rattlesnake.
Got a snake right here. Snake, snake, snake. Western diamondback, come up slow.
I see his tail.
That is a Western diamondback. Okay, he's rattling. Oh, wait a minute. That is not a Western diamondback. That is a Mojave rattlesnake. This situation just went from dangerous to extremely dangerous. Okay, he's kind of tucked back in here by this barrel cactus. Mark, go ahead and come around on this side. Keep your distance back.
Got him.
That is the most venomous rattlesnake in the world right there. He's getting ready to go. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try to work him up into this clearing here.
Right over here.
Go ahead and come into this open area here. Oh, now he's rattling. Woo! Dancing with a Mojave rattlesnake. This is one dangerous dance, my friends. All right, now we've got him out in the open. Keep your distance, keep your distance. This is a very dangerous situation. We are now talking about the most venomous rattlesnake in the United States right here. Let me see if I can just get him to calm down. Holy cow, all right, my heart is racing. Mark, keep your distance right there. We've got the snake calm. You got an okay shot on him?
Yeah, decent.
These snakes can strike incredibly far. If I'm gonna keep them still if I can, they will actually lunge 2/3 of the length of their body. Now, the way I was able to tell that this was a Mojave and not a Western diamondback, they're so easy to confuse, is that the white banding on the tail, the white bands are thicker than the black bands. And you can kind of see, once the light is on him, he has a slight greenish tinge. Can you see that? Now, people often confuse this for Western diamondback because you see the patterning on its back looks just like diamonds. They're a little more oval in shape. When I walked up on it, I thought, oh yes, sweet, a Western diamondback, until I saw that tail and realized it's a Mojave. The most dangerous rattlesnake that's out here in the Sonoran Desert is just, it is nerve-wracking. Hold on, he's starting to move.
You can hear his rattle.
I can hear his rattle. He's just got a couple of little buttons. Now, he is not, you will notice that he is not striking. This is good. Now, snakes do not want to use their venom. Striking and biting is definitely a last resort. Hold on, hold on. Want to do.
Oh, jeez.
Look out!
Talk about what just happened, how it had to
Okay,
move.
so just like that, the snake decided, okay, I'm gonna move. And he's getting a little agitated. They're so incredibly strong. And as soon as he decides, okay, I'm out of here, it's really, really difficult to get him to curl back up like this. See that? He's puffing up his body. He's getting ready to strike. Now, a snake will only strike if it feels like that's its last resort for escaping. There you go. There you go. Calm down. Stay calm. There you go, buddy.
All right. My heart is going about 1,000,000 miles a second right now.
That one made me nervous. He was like darting right at the camera.
Were you recording that whole time?
I tried to. I don't know. I might have turned it off.
All right. Mark, you can probably come around this way now, real slowly. Go slow, go slow. Go ahead, keep rolling. That's okay. Go very slow. He can sense that you guys are coming around his backside. Stay calm. Wow. Now, this is about as close as I want to get to this snake. Let's talk about its venom toxicity. Now, the Mojave rattlesnake has 2 different venom types depending on what region the snake is living in. I cannot tell, just looking at the snake, whether or not it has type A or type B venom. The type A venom is a much stronger neurotoxin. Type B is more hemotoxic. Either way, you get bitten by this snake, its venom load, off the charts. You get tagged by the snake, you want to get to the hospital immediately. Their venom has almost 10 times the toxicity of the western diamondback rattlesnake. Now, you guys have seen me capture the eastern diamondback, the western diamondback, sidewinders, and a lot of times I do head snakes and show you their fangs. This snake, I just feel, is far too dangerous to do that with. All rattlesnake species are potentially deadly, but because this is the most toxic rattlesnake in the world, I'm even more nervous. And the fact that I can't tell whether or not it has type A or type B venom really makes me want to just keep my distance from the snake. I don't want to try to handle it, don't want to head it. It commands respect, and that is exactly what we're going to give it. What an intense encounter, getting face to face with the most venomous rattlesnake in the world. Do you know what's more scary at night than during the day? Spiders. Can you guess what's more scary than seeing a spider at night? Holding a spider at night. Especially when that queen of the nightlife sits upon the throne as one of America's most dangerous arachnids. Many of you watched with clenched teeth and dripping beads of sweat when I free-handled a black widow in 2017.
Like, she's becoming secured to me. Oh, I thought she was about to bite.
It's also worth noting that this species is much more active and on the hunt under the cover of darkness. So did I get off easy when I wasn't bitten? We have been given access to an abandoned gold mine located just beyond the towering presence of the Superstition Mountains. And tonight we are going to test my luck for a second time in a game of Black Widow Roulette, where once again I hope to prove that these venomous spiders are not out to harm humans. So, exploring an abandoned mine like this, you may be thinking to yourself, well, this is human impact on the environment. But in an instance like this, all these piles of rocks, this sort of debris, broken pieces of wood, actually provides an incredible amount of shelter for animal species. So, nestled right up against the Superstition Mountains like this, animals will come down into this flat area. All of this obstructed man-made clutter is the perfect place for animals to hide. Snakes, lizards, creepy crawlies like scorpions, centipedes, and tarantulas all will seek refuge in an area like this. So what I want to do is explore all this abandoned mine area and see what we can find. There it is. That's the entrance to the mine right there. Look how far back it goes. And it's completely flooded out. A lot of spider webs, big wolf spiders. Probably a great place to search for black widows. It actually makes me really nervous to be underneath these structures. Hundreds, if not thousands of tons of rock up above us. If those beams were to give way, that would be the end of us. Okay.
Is there water back there?
There is water, yeah. But I don't see any animals that are of interest to us, so let's keep moving, head back out into the desert. Very cool that we found the mine, though. That is cool. I've never been in a gold mine before. Okay, looks like we've got some more debris up here. Whoa, look at this old car. Oh man, there's great spots for things to hide in here. It's like it would be perfect for spiders. Wow, this is gross inside. Completely destroyed. That's an old GT. Oh, that might be the sure there's no spiders in here.
That is a horrible noise.
Definitely have webs in here. Black Widow, right there. Where? Right up in the scrubs, right there. Yes! Wow, that is a big one, big female. Okay, Mara, give me the cube. Let me see. Here, hold this light, hold this light. We try to coax her backwards like this. Right down and into the container. Oh, got her, yes! Wow, she's dropped right down in there. Sweet! Wow, that is a good sized Black Widow. Wow, look at that spider. That is one of the larger Black Widows I have ever seen. Look at the size of that bulbous abdomen. Now, females are considerably larger than the males, and what you can tell it's a female is certainly that quintessential hourglass design on the abdomen, which is very difficult to see with it inside the container. So what I'm gonna do is gently just let it crawl out and onto my hand so that we can get a better look at it. She's already starting to spin a little bit of web. She's gonna do that so that she feels more comfortable, so that she feels like she is grasped onto something. Whew, hands shaking. This never gets any easier, but this can be the best way for us to see the spider. This is an extremely toxic arachnid, one of the most toxic, most venomous spiders that lives here in the Southwest. So I want to remain as calm as possible and just get her into my hand and let her walk naturally. There we go. You're good, you're good. Okay. So she's spinning some web to come down. Okay. Oh, she's gonna hang on there. Okay. There we go, there we go. Okay. That's Black Widow on my hand right there. There. Do not bite me. Do not bite me. Okay. I'm just gonna let her get comfortable. There we go. Now, for somebody with arachnophobia, this is about as creepy as it gets. Now, if I stay calm, the spider will stay calm. There we go, hang on my bracelet, that'll be perfect. She may drop down into my hand. Where is she? Okay, there she is. You can see my hand just barely shaking there. Steady. Stay put. There we go. Okay. Now, the venom of the Black Widow spider, despite its toxicity, is simply used to neutralize and kill its prey. And if you're an insect and you're bitten by this spider, you're pretty much rendered immobile. And then the spider will wrap you up in its web, and that venom actually turns the insides of its prey into a delicious little bug milkshake. It's rather quite gross, but that is the best way for a spider like this to drink down its prey. Okay, now she's getting a little further up my arm than I want her to be.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good, I'm good. Let's go.
Okay.
And I would never, ever recommend that somebody try to hold on to a spider like this. And the only reason I'm letting this arachnid crawl on my body right now is to prove that spiders are not out there to get you. People who suffer from the fear of arachnophobia oftentimes are terrified of an animal like this, thinking it's just out there to get me, but that is not the case. These spiders simply want to be left alone. They want to hunt within the environment, and they're doing quite a bit of good by helping to balance out and eat a lot of the pest insects that we have out here in the desert. Now, the Black Widow is actually one of the most widespread venomous spiders in the United States. And look at that, able to drop down from her web and perfect, right back into the capsule. Whew, nerve-wracking every time I interact with one of these spiders. So cool. This is one of the more toxic creatures that we could find out here. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would definitely label the Black Widow at a 4. Not the most toxic, but if you're bitten by a spider like this, you definitely want to seek medical attention. It's not likely that it's going to kill you, but it will put you in a considerable amount of pain. You'll experience stomach cramping, some vomiting, and you'll be extremely uncomfortable for close to 36 hours.
That is one very, very cool spider right there. Definitely the most toxic thing we've come across tonight. Small but mighty, the black widow spider. There are approximately 2,600 black widow bites reported in the United States every year, and the effects of the venom usually present themselves within the first hours of envenomation. The primary toxin found in the venom is called alpha-larotoxin, and its resulting symptoms are intense pain, muscle rigidity, vomiting, and profuse sweating. Right back up into that crevice. Never gets any easier when you get hands-on with a spider. That's that toxic. Okay, gently set it down. Oh, that's a horrible noise. You probably know what I am about to say, but I'm going to remind you one more time. Never interact with or attempt to handle a venomous animal. The purpose of this encounter was to exemplify that spiders are not out to get us. However, that doesn't mean that they want to be friends. If you encounter one in your tool shed, your house, or your old rundown sports car, contact a local entomologist and they will gladly show up to safely remove the unwanted spider.
Good morning and welcome.
A few weeks back, I got an email from the Arizona Game and Fish Department asking, would the Brave Wilderness team and the Coyote Pack be interested in helping to promote a conservation project we have in the works? And our answer, without question, was yes. And as perfect timing would have it, we just so happened to be in Phoenix, Arizona on the Brave Wilderness Live Tour. So the morning before our show, we couldn't resist the invitation to swing by and meet their star attraction, Hunter, the Bobcat.
Mark, we are on our way to meet a bobcat. Are you ready?
Is it tame?
I think so.
Okay, I can be up for that.
You safe with that, Mario? Are you ready to meet Hunter the Bobcat?
Is it a cat named Bob?
It's a bobcat named Hunter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You like bobcats, right?
I like bobcats.
Now, guys, we have worked with a bobcat once before, and it was incredibly difficult because the bobcat was spring-loaded. It was bouncing all over the place. It was almost impossible to get it on camera. So we're gonna give this another try because Hunter needs our help. In fact, he also needs your help. Right now we're promoting a GoFundMe campaign to help build Hunter a brand new sanctuary. You guys ready to get up close with this crazy cat?
Let's do it.
All right, ready?
Ready.
Here we go. All right, guys, we are on location right now in Phoenix, Arizona at the Arizona Game and Fish Wildlife Center. We're gonna head in here and meet Heather and then get up close with Hunter, the bobcat that we're gonna hang out with today. High security for the bobcat.
Don't want to
Good
jump it
morning.
out.
Good morning, how are you?
You must be Heather?
I am. It's so
Hi,
nice
I'm
to
Coyote.
meet you.
Nice
Hi,
to meet
Coyote.
you. And you must be Tegan.
Yes. Hi.
Nice to meet you,
You too.
Tegan. Thank you guys so much for having us here today.
Thank you for coming.
This is like maximum security. Is the bobcat an escape artist?
Well, you never know.
Yeah, you never
We're working
know,
with
right?
wild animals, right?
All right, well, let's bring Mark and Mario in here. Come on in, guys. So this is it. This is your wildlife center.
This is our wildlife center. It was built in 1983, so about 35 years ago.
Okay, so it's time for an upgrade.
It is definitely time for an upgrade.
And that's what we're here to do today, to promote the GoFundMe campaign that you guys have going right now. And our audience out there, which we call the Coyote Pack, I'm telling you, is gonna be super excited
Okay.
to tour this facility. And then, of course, we're looking to meet Hunter, which, would you say he's your star attraction?
He's pretty cool.
Okay.
He's pretty cool.
We love bobcats. We've had the chance to work with a bobcat in the past, and they're spring-loaded, right? Jumping all over the place.
Yes.
What is Hunter's demeanor typically like?
Well, Hunter's a really good boy,
Okay.
and he's got amazing trainers. He works as our education animal ambassador, so he's used to meeting people and he's used to coming out.
Okay.
So he's actually pretty calm, but as you know, all wild animals can be a little bit unpredictable,
Okay.
so you never know.
Well, I'll let you lead the way. Let's head back this direction.
All right.
And I think maybe the first thing that would be cool is to check out Hunter's current enclosure.
Okay.
Because the big initiative here is to get him a new enclosure built, correct?
He needs a new home at our brand new wildlife center that we're currently building.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go check it out.
All right. Here we are. And here it is.
Hunter's enclosure.
Hunter's enclosure. Come on inside.
Wow, it's actually a lot cooler temperature-wise in here than I would have thought.
Mario, not for you. Okay, you can come in. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Whoa, no. Oh, no.
Well, we're in here for a while now.
Well, we are now the Bobcats. Yeah, we do have a pond. That is amazing. Here, let me come on this side. Feel the temperature of this water. As I was saying when we were walking in, wow, that feels amazing. It is scorching outside right now. It's only 9 o'clock in the morning, but it's surprisingly cool inside of this enclosure, which is important for Hunter to be able to stay in the shade, right?
Yes, very, very important.
Okay.
Now, can you drink this water?
I would.
By you.
I am pretty thirsty. Let me. No, there might be bobcat pee in there, right?
There probably is.
Yeah, I don't think I want to drink that water, but it's pretty cool that he has a pond and a water fountain. Now, in the design of his new enclosure, will he also have a pond that he
There
can
will be a
splash around
pond.
in?
No
Okay.
waterfall.
No
but
waterfall.
there will be a pond that will change out daily.
Okay. And he's got some climbing sort of tree structures here. Kind of looks like it's for birds, but you know, bobcats are so agile, I could see how this is great exercise for
Yep.
him in here.
Yep.
And as we get back here, obviously he has his little den, but I think this den looks like it's probably from the 80s, and it's 2018, so also time for an upgrade.
Kind of looks
Definitely
like a
time.
desert igloo or something.
It does a little bit.
I think.
We try and keep it rustic.
Yeah.
I think he needs a new crib.
New crib.
Yeah.
Hunter's crib. Well, yeah, I could certainly see how this enclosure could advance. And like I was saying, from 1983 to 2018, I think it is time for a structural upgrade.
Me too.
And I also think it's time to meet Hunter. Are you guys ready for that?
Yeah, let's see this bobcat.
All right,
right,
let's go
let's
meet
go.
Hunter.
Oh, look, a ball.
Don't play with the ball.
Oh, Mario.
Hurry.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Mark.
Oh.
All right, dude.
How you
Feeding
gonna film? How you
time.
gonna film without my camera?
Feeding time is in 2 hours.
All right, let's
See
the
you later, buddy.
bobcat out.
Here comes Hunter.
Nah, we need Mark.
Guess I'm lucky I'm the camera guy today.
All right,
You would
buddy.
have
Come
left
on
me
out.
in there.
Come on out.
Is it safe?
Come on out, buddy.
Okay, so I guess they have Hunter out up here by a tree. We're gonna see what Hunter is capable of. I'm sure jumping and being adorable with that little bobtail. So let's try to stay quiet, work around the edge here, and let Hunter get acclimated to us. There he is. I'm gonna approach in and see how close I can get to Hunter. Hi, buddy. Wow. Look at him. Such a beautiful cat. So soft. His coat is very fluffy right now because technically it is winter here in Arizona, even though it doesn't feel like it. So he's got his winter coat grown in with his little bobtail. So cute. Look at how big those paws are. So Hunter has been in training as an animal ambassador his entire life. And he's just over 8 years old now, and he's completely conditioned to humans. And actually, rather well trained. Can we show how Hunter jumps up into the tree?
Sure.
Check this out. Watch this, how he can spring up after a little meat treat here in the tree. Watch this. Wow, look at that leap. That's incredible. Look at how well he camouflages into the tree. Hi, how are you? As you see, he's a little nervous. He's not used to me. Such big ears. Look at those big paws, perfect for climbing. Such a beautiful cat. Oh, there you go. Did you see that? Oh, he's got a little snack now. I don't want to back him too much up into the tree there. Let me give him some space. That's cool. I can turn out. Oh, there you go. You get a good shot of his bobtail. You see that? See how it twitches? Up in the air like that. It's white on the underside. He's got the white spots on the back of his ears. He's having a little meat snack right now. How is that? It's amazing how their faces look just like the faces of a Maine Coon cat. Ooh, now he's down here on the ground. Let me see if I can get him to come over on me. Hi, Hunter. Hi, buddy. Try to get a little bit closer here, Mark. Go ahead and zoom in on his coat. See if you guys zoom in on the coat. Look at the color and the camouflage. You can see it blends right into even the ground. All this rugged terrain here in Arizona allows these cats to stay completely camouflaged. Look at that muscle in these legs. Incredible spring-loaded power. And how high can he leap?
Easily 6 to 8 feet.
6 to 8 feet, so he can easily just whoop right up on top of this tree with virtually no effort.
Getting to spend time with Hunter allowed the crew and I to see just how special this cat really was. As the cornerstone star of the Arizona Game and Fish Wildlife Center, building a newly modified enclosure for Hunter will ensure a healthy and happy life for this incredible bobcat. With more than 100 unique species that currently call this rehabilitation center home, every donation helps. So make sure to visit Hunter's GoFundMe campaign where you can become a part of this exciting conservation project. You can literally walk for miles across the desert and never come across a single drop of water. So it's safe to say that the last place you would think to look for aquatic turtles is in the middle of this parched ecosystem.
I can smell water. You guys smell that?
Oh yeah, it's like the air just cooled off.
Wow, it feels great down here.
All right, let's move up slow just in case there's any animal like right here. Sometimes that happens. We approach a body of water and all of a sudden, boom, an animal jumps in. Wow, it is crystal clear. Not gonna be hard to find animals in this. All right, let's get into it.
Today I will be exploring the flowing waters of the Santa Cruz River, which runs like a life-giving vein through Arizona's Sonoran Desert. This water system is home to many different animals, but the one creature I am specifically searching for today is a reptile known as the spiny soft-shelled turtle.
Wow, this is a pretty cool environment. I've never been in the water before in the desert. Look at this. It is just globs of algae and sand. It's like this magical mix of desert and swampland. This is super cool. All right, well, let's head this way upriver. You can see the water is fairly shallow. It's also crystal clear, which means if we see any animals, we should be able to catch them. Now, when I'm looking for turtles in Ohio, I'm used to looking at a mound in the mud and saying, oh, that's a carapace buried down. Same tactic is going to be used here because at this time of day, spiny softshells are burrowing in the shallow sand and just sticking their noses up out of the water so that they can breathe. Many different creatures we can come across out here. You guys ready?
All right, let's
Mario, you good? All right, let's keep moving.
We have tried for many years to get the spiny soft-shelled turtle in front of the cameras, with unfortunately no success. However, I have a good feeling that today might be our lucky day.
Whoa. These trees are like covered in cotton. It's like I'm walking through an entire world of spiders right now. All these webs. Wow, there's spiders all over the trees. Let me see if you guys can see this. Look at that. Covered in spiders. I know this would probably be somebody's worst nightmare. If you had arachnophobia, this is not where you would want to be. Turtle.
What kind?
Soft shell. Oh man, it was booking though. Ow!
You okay?
Nailed my knee. Wow, it was fast. Just caught out of the corner of my eye. Missed it though. Not big, only about that big.
So they are in the
100%
water.
a soft shell though. Man, he was just jetting right down the middle of that. Okay, that's a good sign though. This is the sort of area where they would be laying out in the embankments. So keep your eyes peeled.
These turtles are hard to catch, but at least having seen one proves that they live in this river. So we headed further into the wild, searching for slower moving water.
A lot of times they'll bury up underneath an embankment like this. And that's what I'm looking for. The turtle right here. Oh, he's burying down. Hold on, hold on. Got it. Nice. Oh, they're so unbelievably slippery. Woo! I went to the net for a second. I was like, maybe we should better get him with the net. Feel how slippery this turtle is. He started burying down underneath the sand. Yes, there it is. That is a spiny soft shell.
That's our turtle.
Woo! That is exactly what we're hoping to find. What about that timing? I mean, literally, as I'm saying, yeah, right up underneath these embankments, sometimes you'll see them bearing down. I just kind of slightly looked up and saw movement out of the corner of my eye, and his shell was literally bearing down into the sand.
Great grab.
Oh, all right, well, let's get it,
Let's go over here where I can get my big camera out.
Okay. Yes! Ha! Cannot believe we got one. There it is. That is the spiny softshell turtle. You guys have no idea how long I've been trying to get one of these turtles up close for the cameras. We've tried to do this episode before in Ohio, and they have eluded me on every single expedition. And then, of course, the episode doesn't end up getting released. And sure enough, it's here in a river system in the Sonoran Desert that we finally managed to catch one. Now let's take a good look at the structure of this turtle's body. I'm gonna very carefully tilt it up like this, Mark, and take a look at that carapace.
That is something else.
Right? It's very streamlined, extremely smooth. You'll notice that it doesn't have typical scutes like most turtle species. Go ahead, put your hand out there and touch the shell of that turtle. Tell me what it feels like.
Oh, wow. That feels just like leather.
Exactly, right? And it's very pliable. That's what allows these turtles to quickly bury down in the sand and hide up underneath embankments. On top of that, this streamlined body structure allows them to move very, very quickly underwater. I love the feet. Look at those feet. It's like a mix between a foot and a fin. These turtles are perfectly aquatic. And very rarely do you see them on land, only out ever to bask and warm up. As we know, they are ectotherms, which means that they need the sun to heat up their body. Oh, I see you looking at my hat there. Don't you bite my nose. Now, I do not want to take a bite from one of these turtles. They have extremely sharp beaks, razor sharp, in fact, and they use that beak to catch and kill their food. Now, what they're looking for out here are small fish, frogs, crayfish, anything that this turtle comes across and can turn into a meal. It's fair game. They are opportunistic predators. Ow, 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 I'm getting clawed up here. Here, let me put him down in the water for a second. Watch this. I'm gonna hold on to the shell really tight. Let's see if you can see those feet in action. There we go. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see that?
So this is a very aquatic turtle.
Yes, and they are very, very slippery. Look at that. You see its feet going? And look at that. You see the head sticking up above the water there? They have extremely long necks, and that's what allows them to stay buried down in the sand. And all they have to do is extend that little piggy-looking nose up through the water, through the sand, just like that, and they can breathe without even being noticed. That's another reason why they are so incredibly hard to find. Oh, this is kind of cool. Can you see these little spines on the back of the shell there?
Yeah, I can. They're like little nodules.
That is where they get the name spiny softshell turtle from. Okay, let's look at the underside of the turtle. The plastron.
Extremely white.
Very white, very, very smooth. Also helps in allowing these turtles to move quickly across the sandy basin of this river. Oh, he's so cool. All right, let's do this. I'm going to set him down gently here and look at the camouflage of this turtle against the sand. Can you see that? Now notice the coloration in the turtle's skin. It's very light, just like the sand, and all of these little dark markings help it blend, ooh, try to bite me, blend in perfectly to the granules of sand that are on the basin of the river. Look at that, look at his head, just up above the water there. And boop, just like that it goes down, and then the turtle can quickly make a run for it. I got you, come here, we're gonna hang out just a little bit longer. Wow, this has gotta be the coolest feeling turtle I have ever held. It is so slimy. Oh, he's so cool. I can't believe we caught one. He's clawing up my hand pretty good too. Well, how cool is this? Finally catching a spiny softshell turtle, and of all places, here in the Sonoran Desert.
Exploring the Santa Cruz River was an adventure unlike any we have embarked upon in the Sonoran Desert, and was truly one for the memory books. The spiny softshell is technically a non-native reptile to the Sonoran Desert. However, over the past quarter century, they have established a strong breeding population and are now considered by most to be a permanent resident. This is definitely one creature that everyone out there watching has been asking to see. So I'm glad we could finally get the Coyote pack up close with the spiny softshell turtle. Every time I step foot into the desert, my eyes immediately begin searching for animals. And while the environment is most certainly laced with biological landmines, like plants covered in spikes, these hazards for humans oftentimes provide shelter and protection for a wide variety of creatures. Arizona's Sonoran Desert is one of my favorite places to explore. And whether I'm encountering snakes, look at that, look how long and beautiful that snake is, spiders, or scorpions, in the back of my mind, I'm always hoping to stumble upon my favorite lizard. And all it takes is being in the right place at the right time.
This is exactly what I was hoping we'd come across today. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
1, oh boy, 2, 3. Just kidding. Do you know what this is?
Oh yeah.
This is the regal horned lizard, one of the most iconic species that you'll find here in the Sonoran Desert. And actually, this is my absolute favorite lizard in the world. And the way that these lizards actually avoid predators is, I'm gonna put them down on the sand, tilt your camera down here. Look at this. Look at that camouflage. You see how camouflaged that lizard is? Look at that. Now when it puffs up its body and flattens itself down, the way that they'll actually hide is to partially bury themselves underneath the sand. And you see that cryptic coloration in all of the scales, and the skin looks just like this rocky and sandy terrain. That's why when we walked up, you said, wow, are you really looking at something? And it does, it really looks like a rock. And the only way I was able to spot this lizard is because its head moved. And I saw a little bit of movement out of the corner of my eye, and I said, oh, there it is, there's a horned lizard. Now, when I grabbed this lizard, I kind of played it up and made you guys think it was gonna be spiky and hurt my hand, but all the spines that run along the side of the body and on the back are nothing more than modified scales. The only true horns or spikes on these lizards is right on the back of the head there. These are very sharp, and those are bone, and they're actually connected to the skull. Now, that's a defense for these lizards against predators. Let's say a snake, like a coach whip, comes into this environment and manages to catch one of these lizards, these spines would get stuck in its throat, and then hopefully the lizard wouldn't become a meal.
So that's not spiky at all?
No, this lizard is not spiky at all. Actually, Mark, you want to reach your hand out here and feel? Go ahead.
I almost don't believe it.
Touch the lizard, feel that.
Oh wow.
It just feels like sandpaper, doesn't it?
It is really, really soft.
Actually, you want to know what's really soft? Pet its belly.
Let's see that. Oh wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
Now, you'll notice that this lizard is kind of puffing up its body. That is another defense mechanism. What they'll do is they'll stand up on all 4 legs, puff up their body, and go, whoa, whoa, like that towards a predator. Now, if you were a coyote or a bobcat and you came into the environment and you saw this lizard all puffed up, covered in spikes, you probably think to yourself, yeah, that doesn't look like something that I want to eat. However, if puffing up the body doesn't deter a predator, this lizard is actually capable of shooting 2 little streams of blood right from the corner of its eyes.
So Coyote, these lizards are actually significant to you. You have a story behind these.
They are. Not only is this truly my favorite lizard, but this lizard is responsible for giving me the nickname Coyote. Now, the way that happened is when I was a little kid, about 8 years old, my mom used to bring me out here to the Sonoran Desert, and I would look for these lizards. However, because of their camouflage, they're difficult to find. Now, one of their main predators is the roadrunner. So what I would do is search for roadrunners. I would follow those roadrunners, hoping that they would lead me to the horned lizards. My mom would watch me doing this and would say to herself, you know what you're kind of like? You're kind of like Wile E. Coyote from the Warner Brothers cartoon. And then she started calling me Coyote. So this little lizard, the regal horned lizard, is responsible for giving me the nickname Coyote. How cool is that? Now, there are many species of lizards out here in the desert. Most of them you probably would never be able to catch. This is one that's actually slow enough that you can handle it. And because it's non-venomous and they do not bite, I would actually say this is something that's safe to pick up and admire. However, you want to be extremely gentle. You see, I'm barely holding onto the lizard. They will stay totally calm in your hand. Look at that. I'm not even applying any pressure to the legs or the body. It's just sitting up on my fingers. However, if you catch one of these lizards out here in the desert, definitely make sure you release it right away. This does not make a good pet. They stress very easily in captivity and have a very selective diet. They actually only eat ants. Will not eat crickets, will not eat mealworms. If you catch a horned lizard, admire it and then place it right back in the desert. All right, well, it's getting pretty warm out here. I'm already breaking a sweat. We better get this little lizard back up underneath its prickly pear cactus.
The deserts of the Southwest aren't only riddled with dangers, they also have the potential to be deadly. To define danger, I'm talking about spiky plants, hairy spiders, glowing scorpions, and one very venomous lizard. If I were to define deadly, it would come in the slithering form of Arizona's most commonly encountered venomous snake, the outlaw viper known as the Western Diamondback Rattlesnake. Tonight we are exploring a private stretch of property, eerily located beyond the looming structure of the Superstition Mountains. What was once a lucrative gold mine has now been reclaimed by the wild, and while I'd love to find a fortune in golden glory, the only treasure we are likely to come across here is of the animal kind. When searching for reptilian predators like rattlesnakes, one of the best things you can come across are prey species, and this desert is bustling with rodents.
So this right here is likely the home of kangaroo rats. Now, kangaroo rat is something that a rattlesnake will primarily target for feasting on. And if I was a rattlesnake, this is definitely an area that I would hang out, waiting for the rodents to come up out of the burrow. Once they detect that heat signature, they strike out and inject that venom. So there's a good chance we could be hot on the trail of a rattlesnake right now. Let's search all through this underbrush and see what we find. You really have to move slow and methodically through an environment like this. So that is a desert rat of some species. It's not a kangaroo rat, but a rodent of that size is the primary meal for a western diamondback rattlesnake. Of course, up in the cholla cactus like that, it's completely safe. You're not gonna ever see a rattlesnake up in a cholla like this. So, well, where you see rodents, you will definitely find the snakes. All right, let's keep looking. We're getting close, I can feel it.
They say that where you find cheese, you will find rats. I always say that where you find rats, you will find snakes. And boy, do I love being right.
Now we're seeing some rocks. What do you think, Mario? This looks a little bit better. Ooh, look at this outcrop. Snake, rattlesnake right there. Rattlesnake, rattlesnake. Holy cow, look at the size of this. It's a western diamondback, okay. Woo! Oh my goodness, look at the size of this snake. Oh, got chills running up and down my body right now. Okay, this scenario is incredibly dangerous. What I want to do is get this snake up off of these rocks and down into a more controlled situation. Okay, it's just staying completely still. Let's just take a second to look at that camouflage. I mean, all I saw was the black and white banding on the tails. We came up over those rocks, and immediately I knew rattlesnake. And you want to properly identify whether or not it's a Mojave or a western diamondback. It's really easy to get the two mixed up. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, my hands are shaking. This is a big, big rattlesnake. This is, wow, I don't even know if we've got a tube big enough to get this snake into. So this is gonna be great. We're gonna get to use our snake examination tubes if I can safely get the snake off of the rocks. All right, the snake is definitely onto us now. Let's see how he's gonna move. Okay, you guys good? All right, I'm gonna see if, okay, there's that. Look, it's not even rattling yet. Okay, now it's beginning to get into defensive pose. Coming this way. Okay, what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'm gonna try to tail the snake. Okay, got the tail. I'm gonna try to, okay, you ready? I'm gonna try to move it down here into the sand. Wow, that is a big rattlesnake. This is the biggest western diamondback I think I've ever seen. Okay, real steady. Okay, I got it. Back up very slow. Everybody back, back, back.
Watch your footing.
I see it, I see it. Okay. Move back, move back. Okay, up by this rock here. I want it completely out and in the sand. Wow, that is a heavy rattlesnake. It's taking all my strength to hold it up like that. Okay, let me see if I can just get it to sit here in the sand. Look at the size of that rattlesnake. Okay, I'm gonna let go of the tail real gently. Let's see if we can get it to coil. Okay, nope, it's just gonna keep moving. Stop, 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 buddy, stop, stop. There, look at this, okay. Perfect positioning. Okay, Mario, just set your camera down. Okay. Get the snake tubes out. Everybody just watch. This snake can take off in a burst of speed. I'm gonna try to stay in front of it so that it keeps its attention on me. There you go. Keep your attention right here. Heat-seeking pits honed in on me, saying, okay, don't you get any closer, and trust me, I will not. Getting close to a sidewinder is one thing. This snake can launch its body forward 2/3 its own length, and that is about a 4.5 foot western diamondback. Okay, so go ahead, hand me the tubes. Now, what we're gonna try to do here, Mario, I may or may not need your help, but this is great because we've got these rocks we can actually use. I'm gonna try to coerce the snake very gently into the tube. Now what this will do is allow me to actually get hands-on with the snake. This is gonna put very little stress on the animal. It's the safest situation for me, the snake, and for you guys. Okay, Here, take the tongs, Okay. Gosh, my leg is shaking. Everybody just take a deep breath. Now, you'll notice that the rattlesnake isn't even rattling at this point. Sometimes they won't. This snake is relying on its camouflage. It doesn't need to warn us with its rattle. It's basically so confident in its size, and now that it knows it's been spotted, it's like, I don't need to warn you. I simply just need you to back off, because a bite from this snake, watch out. Let me try to get out of it. Whoa, buddy, there we go. This is good. I'm able to just keep it in position. Very, very slow movements. That's what we want right there. We want it to curl up into a ball like that. Feel comfortable, feel camouflaged. Okay, let me see if I can place it just in front of the snake. Put this here. I'm gonna take off my pack. I need as much mobility as I can possibly get. Okay, this is the most dangerous part right here. This is like the most dangerous game of desert operation. Look out, look out. Watch that strike. Okay.
Okay, watch your hand. Watch your hand. Make sure it doesn't go all the way out. Grab it.
Okay, there we go.
Got it.
Dangerous snake situation under control. Wow. Now I do have to hold on to the snake with as much power as I possibly can to keep it locked in place. Okay, this is good. So you see, wow, the snake's head is almost coming out the front of that tube. Okay. I get my composure here. That is an incredibly large western diamondback rattlesnake, one of the most toxic snake species in the United States. Look at the size of that snake. Incredible. When we're talking about rattlesnakes, the most quintessential thing is the rattle. Look at that, and this is the only way that you're able to get close to one of these snake's rattles. Now, what's interesting about the rattle is that it's made of keratin, the same thing that makes up your fingernails and your hair. And these are called buttons, each individual little section. And every time the snake sheds its skin, a new button forms. Now, you can't tell the age of a rattlesnake based on its buttons because, as you can see here, a piece has definitely broken off at some point in time. Sometimes it may get stuck on a stick or in between rocks. The snake keeps slithering and one of those buttons pops off. But that is a beautiful rattle right there. Now, there's nothing actually inside the rattle. People often think, well, there are little beads inside there that shake around. No, that is just the sound of the buttons vibrating up against each other. Now, that's not the rattle rattling itself. That is my hand shaking from holding onto this snake. This is the largest western diamondback I think I have ever encountered in the wild. An absolute beautiful snake. Now, one of the most unique things about all rattlesnakes is this is a New World snake, the most highly evolved venomous snake on the planet. These are pit vipers. They have heat-sensing pits right in front of their eyes. And they rely on those pits to sense the heat registry of an animal that's in their environment. Now, something like a banded gecko would not show up, right? Cold-blooded animal. But a kangaroo rat, or perhaps that desert rat that we saw up in the cactus earlier, that is the primary prey target for a snake of this type. They specialize in eating rodents. Now, when they strike their prey, they bite down, inject that venom. Eventually, whatever it is that they have bitten succumbs to that venom, and then the snake has the opportunity to swallow it down. Now, like all snakes, this one has a forked tongue, and that is what the snake uses to smell and taste the environment. They bring that tongue back into their mouths, run it over the Jacobson's organ, and it tells the snake everything it needs to know about the environment. If there's a predator close, if some prey items have moved through, they're even capable of sensing when the weather is going to change. So this snake knows if a monsoon is getting ready to push in. They are just perfectly in tune with the desert. Now, the western diamondback rattlesnake is primarily a nocturnal species, but people do occasionally stumble upon them in the early morning or just before sunset. These snakes rely on the sun to heat up their bodies, so at the end of the day, they soak up those last rays of the sun, and then they head out for the night to hunt. And they're opportunistic. If something comes close to this snake, it will strike out and seize the opportunity to get that meal. Now, when we're talking about toxicity, this is one of the most venomous snakes in the United States. And it has more so to do with the size of the snake. The larger the snake is, the larger the yield of venom. So a rattlesnake of this size can give you a potentially lethal bite. If you were to ever be bitten by a Western Diamondback, whether it's a baby or one that's this large, without question, you need to seek medical attention. Now, they do make anti-venom for the species, and not many people lose their lives to this snake, but the makeup of the venom contains hemotoxic, cytotoxic, and mitotoxic venom, so it will cause necrosis, and oftentimes people that are bitten on the foot or the hand end up losing that limb. And the way most bites happen are on accident. Somebody steps too close to the snake, or they see a snake and decide, okay, I'm gonna try to kill it, I'm gonna harass it, I'm gonna get it out of my yard. The snake then becomes agitated, and that's when they will defend themselves with a strike. In interacting with this snake tonight, by being calm, by remaining as cool as possible, this snake never even struck once at us, which just shows you this is not an aggressive animal. It's an animal that simply wanted to flee the situation. Its first instinct was flight. Let me see if I can get away. At no point did it show us any sign of aggression. So cool just being this close to a rattlesnake of this size. Okay, I'm gonna just set the snake right down here in the sand and let it slowly slither out through the tube, and it's gonna disappear back off into the desert.
The Western Diamondback rattlesnake hails as the pinnacle of snake evolution. Yet this perfectly designed predator has unfortunately been persecuted by humans out of unnecessary fear. Deadly they are indeed, but it's important to remind you that nearly all bites come as a result of people interacting with, harassing, or trying to kill these reptiles. If you see a rattlesnake in the wild, follow this advice: leave it alone. In Arizona specifically, you can contact a variety of wildlife removal services or even your local fire department. And believe it or not, they will come to your residence, safely remove the snake, and relocate it. Rattlesnakes are an important balancer of the desert ecosystem. And the more we understand about them, the easier it becomes to accept that they belong as a part of nature. Be smart, be aware of your surroundings, always admire wildlife from a safe distance, and I promise the hiking in the desert will be a fun and enjoyable experience. There is no place in the world like the American Southwest. And on this adventure, we have been given permission to explore the land surrounding an abandoned gold mine, located just beyond the Superstition Mountains. I'm not a superstitious person, but you never want to push your luck when traversing challenges of the desert. Remember this little incident?
Oh. Every once in a while, guys, I miss a jump. And I just landed funny. My foot slipped and I literally fell about 15 feet. I messed up my elbow pretty good. Back first into the rocks. I'm okay. I know you're gonna all see that video and go. You can actually hear my mom screaming in the background. That's probably the farthest drop I've ever survived.
Under the light of day, navigating Arizona is a challenge, but not impossible. And if you are careful when hiking, it can be quite enjoyable. Then, the sun disappears, and this dry, dusty maze of scraggly plants and towering cacti becomes a biological minefield that even seasoned adventurers like myself occasionally find booby-trapped.
Oh, Mario, check this out. There we go. This right here is known as a teddy bear cholla. Not exactly the kind of teddy bear that you want to cuddle with. Now, when it comes to biological landmines, this is one of the most dangerous things out here in the desert because you least expect running into one of these. So watch this. They're also known as jumping cholla. So, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. So you see that? You brush up against one of these cholla and the spines lock into your skin or your clothes. And the bad thing is that once one spine goes in, you try to knock it off and more spines dig in. The only proper way, and that hurts. That really hurts. The tips of these spines have little hooks on them. The only way to, really properly remove cholla
is with a multi-tool. And once they dig into you like that, what you have to do is get the tool up underneath the spines, and just like a Band-Aid, 1, 2, you pop it off. But of course, there's still gonna be some spines stuck in there. You see how hard those are to pull out? That's because the hooks on the tips of the spines dig themselves into your skin. And you wanna watch out for the rattlesnakes and the scorpions, but more often than not, it's the cholla that are gonna ultimately get you. All right, we're gonna work our way through this minefield and try to get into some open country where we're not dealing with the cacti.
The Southwest is often perceived as a hostile environment. And if the plants don't get you, then you better hope its collection of venomous animals don't land a bite, because that would be far worse than the spines of a cholla. Arizona specifically is home to more rattlesnake species than any other state, boasting 13 of the world's 36 species. Of those 13 species, each one has a rattle, a pair of hinged fangs, and a venomous bite. For most people, encountering a snake is like being caught in a nightmare. But for me and Mario, stumbling upon a rattlesnake is a dream come true.
It's so much easier to move through a wash like this. Here you go, some rock structure up here. Check this out. Snake right there, right there. Look at this. Rattlesnake is the Sidewinder. Yes! Look at that, perfectly camouflaged. My goodness, okay, come up real slow. This snake gets its quintessential Sidewinder name from its style of locomotion. When they slither, they're capable of like lunging their bodies forward, just curling side to side. Now this is one of these smaller rattlesnake species here in the Southwest, and one of the least toxic, believe it or not. Of the 13 species of rattlesnake here in Arizona, I would argue to say that this is the least toxic, but it's certainly still not a snake that you would want to be bitten by. Okay, let me just take off my pack here so I have a bit more mobility. Now when they want to, they can move pretty quickly, so I have to keep myself mobile. Let's see, can we get you to slither a little bit? I want to see that sidewinding locomotion. Okay, there we go. Let's do this. Nice, getting into position where, oh, look at that defense right there. That is strike pose. The snake is saying, don't get any closer or I may strike out at you. Okay, because it's nestled down into these rocks, let's move it just up here into this sand is a little more fluid. Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's moving exactly the way we want it to. But with these rocks, it's actually not able to move quite as quick as we would like. Here, let's do this. I'm gonna gently move it into some softer sand. Let's see, buddy. Oh, watch your camera. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, just move on his own.
Sniper.
No, I'm good. What I'm gonna actually do is let him get up onto the snake tongues and gently get a hold of his tail, just like that. Okay, let's move it back this way. Just a touch. Careful, careful. There we go. Now, one of the coolest features of the Sidewinder, you can get real close here, look right into those eyes, are those little horns that you see up on top of the head. When you're looking at the 13 rattlesnake species here in Arizona, this is the only snake with that design. Now, the reason for those horns is that these snakes are capable of burying themselves under the sand. They'll lay there in ambush, waiting for their prey to get close. Those little horns help keep sand and debris out of the eyes. With just the eyes and those horns sticking up, if something like a small rodent or a gecko comes close, they can sense the heat signature with those two little heat sensing pits up front and then strike out. With hinged fangs, inject that venom. You're being so good, just hanging out in that perfect little ball right there. I can see you're ready to launch off in that direction and keep moving. Stay. Coming right for your cameras. That is so cool, just getting to see this snake in motion. There we go, curl up into a little ball. When curled up like that, the snake definitely feels more calm. I'll just get real close. Look at this quintessential rattlesnake behavior right there. Look how tiny that little rattle is. And are we calmed down?
You're actually pretty good. You could kind of look at that rattle a little bit more.
Yeah, I really can't get close to the rattle considering the fact that the snake's body is blocked with the camera. Now, all rattlesnakes have a rattle, right? Some rattles are bigger than others. People think that just because a rattlesnake's rattle is big means that the snake is old. That's not the case. The rattle grows with the snake throughout its life. Actually, every time a snake sheds its skin, the rattle grows an extended button. Now, sidewinders don't typically have very large rattles. In fact, this is one of these smaller rattlesnake species. So the snake feels very comfortable right now that it's actually up in the lens hood of the camera. Now that we turn the light, okay, there, that's perfect, look at that. Now, when we're talking about dangerous or potentially deadly animals here in the desert, on a scale of 1 to 5, I would say that the Sidewinder automatically ranks as a 4 because it is a rattlesnake. But the toxicity of its venom is significantly less as compared to its larger cousins like the Mojave and the Western Diamondback. However, if you were to ever be tagged, which means bitten by one of these rattlesnakes, you definitely want to seek medical attention. You never know how your body will react to the venom, and it does still have hemotoxic properties, which basically means that it is going to affect the flow and the structure of your blood. All right, I think at this juncture, it's best that we let this snake slither back off into the night so it can keep hunting. All right, Mario, I'm gonna back up slowly. If you wanna just tip your camera forward, we'll watch it slither off into the night.
All right.
So cool.
Whether fleeing an attacking predator or avoiding the hot sun-baked substrate, the specialized method of movement used by the Sidewinder is one of the greatest assets this snake has. Combined with a mostly nocturnal existence and an impressive coat of camouflage, these reptiles have successfully found a way to survive in one of North America's most inhospitable environments. I was able to get up close and personal, but that's certainly not something you should ever try. Remember, when it comes to venom, you never know how your body will react, and the bite from any rattlesnake species is considered a medical emergency. However, that doesn't mean that you should be afraid of snakes. The Sidewinder is a perfect example of a venomous creature that would rather flee than fight. And if you ever stumble upon one in the wild, consider yourself lucky to have encountered one of Arizona's most interesting rattlesnakes. Nothing makes the hair on your neck stand up like the thought of a spider crawling up your back. Trust me, I know. I've been there many times in an attempt to demonstrate that spiders are not out to get us. Worldwide, there are more than 45,000 spider species. They come in many shapes, sizes, and every single one of these 8-legged arachnids is considered venomous. I can sense your arachnophobia meter climbing by the second. But if you live in the United States, I have some good news. Aside from the black widow and the brown recluse, there isn't a single spider species that is considered dangerous to humans. Hold up, wait. Coyote, aren't you forgetting about the tarantula? That giant, hair-covered, fang-wielding, desert-roaming nightmare? Those spiders are huge, like Hollywood movie huge. And did we mention the hairy part? Are you telling us that these spiders are harmless? For the most part, yes. To prove it, on this adventure we are heading out into the star-lit desert of Arizona to get hands-on with one of these supposed nightmares. People who live in the Southwest are typically used to seeing tarantulas, and if you love spiders enough to desire seeing one yourself, there's a good chance you will spot one skittering across the parched rocky substrate if you head out for a night hike.
Good. That is a huge wash. Well, this is gonna make walking a lot easier. All these embankments here, let's check this out. Whew, we're walking on the move. Yeah, this is great. So, something like this, the sand is really dense. It'll be hard for us to walk on. It's thinner towards these edges, but all these embankments are gonna be areas where animals are traveling up and down. They can go up into the underbrush, and they can use this little ridge line right here to move from spot to spot. What do you think? Which direction you wanna go? That way or this way?
Let's go that way.
This way?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. When the rains pour down, we're talking hundreds of thousands, probably millions of gallons of water, all converges down into a riverbed like this, and the water can be you know, 10 feet high, just ripping through the desert. And that water all soaks back down into the sand incredibly quickly. So it completely reshapes the landscape every time there's a monsoon rain that pushes through. But for us, this is perfect. Far fewer cacti and better opportunities to quickly move through the environment to find animals. All right, Mario, let's keep heading this way. Check this out, got a tarantula. Tarantula. Good size one too, look at this. Oh, it's onto us. Mario, come up slow. It's really close to this underbrush. If you want to take a look at it, I'm gonna have to gently coax it back out into the open. Can you see it? Come up slow, it's like right in front of you here. You look at a spider like this and immediately you think, oh, arachnophobia. I'm terrified of whatever this is. Oh, he's getting up into there. Oh, let me bring him back out into the open. Actually, use my biology forceps. This is very cool. I was hoping we would come across a tarantula tonight. All right, buddy, let's bring you down this way. Okay. Like this. Here we go, there we go. Don't go into there. That's where I don't want you to go. Let's come out of this. I want you right out in the open. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that right there is a desert blonde tarantula. And you may be thinking to yourself, this is a living arachnophobic nightmare, but whoa, almost ran right up onto my face. Now all it wants to do right now is get away. There we go. Now if I let it walk from hand to hand, there we go. Look at that. That is one big spider. One of the most common spider species you will see out here in the Southwest. When it comes to defenses, this spider is armed with very large fangs, but not a very potent bite. Actually, what's more potent are these little hairs on the back of the abdomen. Now, when they feel very threatened, what they will do is use their hind legs to flick off some of those hairs. They're called urticating hairs. And if those get into your eyes or into your nose, they're very, very itchy. They'll burn your eyes, it will burn your nose. So any predator that comes into the environment says, oh, this looks like a good snack, you get a face full of those hairs, trust me, it is not going to be a comfortable situation. When it comes to this being an animal that you need to be afraid of, it may look hairy, it may be covered in fur, and it may be armed with fangs, but this is one of the most docile creatures you can come across. And these spiders simply just want to navigate the desert looking for things to feast upon. And when it comes to the toxicity of the venom, a bite is no more potent than that of a honeybee sting. And the odds of you ever being bitten by a tarantula are slim to none. They use the bite as an absolute last defense, and usually only in an instance when they feel as if they are going to get squished. So letting the spider just slowly walk from hand to hand like this is completely safe. Now, I would not recommend that you ever come out into the desert and pick up one of these tarantulas, but oftentimes people have them in captivity and they're used to help people get over their fear of spiders, to help cure arachnophobia. Because you can see once it's on your hands and moving slowly, it's actually a very cool, very calm experience. Now, despite the fact that this is a very large spider, it's rather creepy looking with all those hairs. On a scale of 1 to 5, when we're talking about dangerous or potentially deadly desert dwellers, this tarantula only ranks as a 1. Very cool. Definitely one of the creepy crawlies I hoped we would come across tonight. See you later, big guy.
The Coyote pack has been witness to me performing a number of dangerous wilderness stunts, and it's responsible to say that holding a tarantula poses risks. These spiders can and will bite if they feel threatened. So while their venom is not lethally toxic, it's definitely not something you want to experience. If you see a tarantula in the wild, it's okay to get close, but it's always best to admire these spiders naturally without trying to pick them up. When I was a kid, nothing was more terrifying than a scorpion. Armed with menacing pinchers, Capable of skittering up walls and topped off with a venomous stinger, these 8-legged arachnids were textbook examples of a living nightmare.
I've seen things you won't believe.
As an adult, I forced myself to face the fear of scorpions by being intentionally stung by one in 2014. Then in 2017, for some crazy reason, I decided to do it again with 2 scorpions.
Wowza.
Why in the world would anyone want to be stung by scorpions?
Ooh.
The only justifiable answer is that I love to entertain and educate the Coyote pack.
Man, my finger's burning.
You okay?
Yeah.
Tonight we are back in Arizona, the scorpion capital of the Southwest. And I'm carefully rummaging around in the debris that surrounds an abandoned gold mine. This is the perfect setting to find a variety of invertebrate nightmares. But when it comes to finding scorpions, nothing is more helpful than the right flashlight.
So, a normal flashlight is perfect for seeing things like Gila monsters, snakes, and tarantulas. But when it comes to finding scorpions, the best tool that you can use is a blacklight. That coloration will cause these arachnids to luminesce, and all of this wood is the perfect spot for us to search for that creepy crawly. Flipping over all these old crates is it's gonna be quite the challenge. Let's see what we can find.
Aside from using the right light, the only thing you need is a little patience, and then before you know it, a scorpion will magically appear.
Oh, right there, look at that. Giant desert hairy scorpion right on the edge of that pipe. See how they glow? Luminescent, that is perfect. You just turn a corner like that, and probably the last thing most people want to see is a giant desert hairy scorpion, but that is exactly what we were looking for. Hunker down in ambush mode. Oh, now it's on the move. This is not a species that has a super toxic sting. It's about equivalent to a honeybee. And I can pick this up with my fingers, but I want to get it right where the telson meets that first knuckle of the tail. It is a delicate little balance. And ooh, you stop right there. And I don't want to get stung in the process. Let's see. Stay. Stay. I'm always getting into strike mode. Okay. Oh, it's so nerve-wracking to pick up one of these arachnids, even though I know that it's not a super potent sting. Okay, I'm gonna actually just use these little pieces of plant to pin it down slightly. Keep that like that. And sometimes you just have to commit. Got it. Ah! So the pinchers won't do you much harm. It's really just that stinger that you have to watch out for. But it's such a cool thing, the way that they luminesce. Check that out. Just glowing bright yellowish green. And that's why I say using this light to identify these scorpions is so obvious. The second you see a scorpion glowing like that, you know exactly what it is. But when it's just out there on the ground like this, it's completely camouflaged. And with a normal flashlight, you would barely even be able to tell that that creature was there. So cool. The body's actually very, very rigid. You may think that the scorpion is squishy, but this exoskeleton is very, very hard. So by holding it at this spot right here where the tail meets the telson is where all the venom is kept that then runs into the stinger. It is causing this animal no discomfort in any way whatsoever. In fact, you'd have to really stomp down on something like this with a boot to even stand a chance at crushing it. Very, very durable animal. These scorpions are feasting on a variety of small insects, other arachnids. They have these front pinchers, which they use to grab onto their prey, and then they will swing that stinger forward and inflict a sting, inject that venom, and that's how they neutralize their prey. And they do get bigger than this, and a larger giant desert hairy will even take things like small rodents. Now, there are 3 very distinct scorpion species that are here in the Southwest. The giant desert hairy, which is the largest, the striped-tailed scorpion, which is rather small, and then the bark scorpion. The bark scorpion is the most potent, and a sting from that scorpion will, without question, put you in the hospital. On a scale of 1 to 5, when it comes to potency of this potentially dangerous desert dweller, I would only rank the giant desert hairy as a 2. While it is a painful sting, it is not something that's going to kill you. The bark scorpion, on the other hand, would rank as a 5. It is one of the most painful and most dangerous stings that's out here in the Southwest. What a cool creature. All right, let's set this scorpion back down into the sand. Let's light it up and let it go. Here we go, ready? 1, 2, 3. Later, buddy.
For the most part, these arachnids want to be left alone. And unless you try to interact with them, it's unlikely that you will ever feel the wrath of their sting. Personally, scorpions will always give me the willies. And while I dread the idea of one hiding in my bed sheets, they do work as an excellent ecosystem balancer, doing their best to catch, sting, and eat a wide variety of pest insects. Scorpions. You don't want to live with them, but you have to admit, they are pretty cool creatures. And to celebrate their glowing magnificence, we felt this episode deserved a 1-minute Scorpion Nightclub remix video called Scorpion City. You can thank us in the comments section below.